Hi folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. The other day I was fishing near Waddington, and I was down. I actually pulled in at the Waddington beach, and there were 4 or 5 other cars there. And it's a place that I go to just because it's easy to get out on the sand, and northern pike will sometimes come into there, especially in the spring. So I'm fishing. I'm not catching any fish, but I noticed another car come in, and they were looking at me. I saw the 2 guys standing up there in the parking lot, and they were pointing down to me being in the water because I had my hip boots on and I was wading out on the sandy bottom. And so I thought, well, maybe they were planning on going where I was or something, but I didn't think too much more about it. And a little while later, I returned to my car, and the 2 guys came up from where they were fishing on the other side of the water in this bay that's on the opposite side of the beach. And so they asked me, how you doing? And I told them, no, I hadn't had a strike. And I said, you guys are fishing with the same type of lures as I am. So it started a conversation, but this was what was interesting. These guys had come up from Brooklyn to fish our area. Apparently, years ago at a sports show that I was doing to present our area down at the Suffern, it's the biggest sports show in the East. It no longer is going to be there, though. But anyway, they had talked to me, and they had started coming up here, and they love it up here. They come up every year at this time. I think they stay in Messina. I'm not sure because they were telling me about going to Spanky's Diner and fishing in the St. Regis River, in the Grass River. But here's the points I wanted to make to you. First of all, they came up just before pike season started. In other words, they came up before May 1st. And they were fishing in the Grass River in Messina. And the game warden stopped them, and he gave them a ticket because he said, you can't be in this river at all. There's ordinance that's right on our rules and regulations that you can't fish the Oswegatchie or the Grass River. And they said, well, we didn't know that. Well, that didn't hold any weight, and they got tickets for doing that. They didn't seem alarmed by that. But I think it's important that we realize that, and I've talked about this before, there's a lot of unique and separate laws and ordinances for different bodies of water. And so the state regulations don't necessarily hold true in a lot of individual cases. And it's important that we read the regulations and acquaint ourselves with that if we're going to a water that we might not be familiar with. The other thing is they raved about the fishing that they have up here. They could tell me more about my waters, listen to me, our waters here, than what I knew because they had come to love this area so much and they come up here to fish. They said they'd had great pike fishing. They said the walleye fishing had been unbelievable in the tributaries, but now those fish were moving out, which is absolutely true. But there was a couple lessons to all this. Number one is that, it's if we don't pay attention to the laws, we have a good chance of getting caught. And there may be no leeway there for ignorance. The second thing is that people that come up here to fish these waters are amazed at what we really have. I try to tell them that at sports shows, and I think they think, wow, this is a salesman hyping up his area. It isn't the case. It's a person that loves this area. I try to promote it so that it can help all of us. And when people come up here, they are blown away by our special fishing. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.